Hey everybody, Daryl Lucas here. I just finished writing a fuller response to an outrageous video from Lori Alexander, better known as the Transformed Wife, in which she doubled down, no, Googled down on her outrageous attacks on Jinger Duggar of Wolo for speaking out about her abusive background, but since it probably won't be published till tomorrow, I felt like I had to get a few things off my chest today. Now, so you have to bear with me because this is very personal for me. In case you missed it, Alexander seems to think that Ginger has no right to speak out about how she now realizes that she was brought up in an environment of fear. Instead, she should be honoring her parenting Jim Bob and Michelle and praising them. Well, anyone who has followed the Duggar saga over the last 7 years ought to know that Jim Bob and Michelle have long since forfeited any right to being honored. These are people who force their kids to spend most of their childhoods in a house with only 2 bedrooms, forcing boys and girls to share the same bedroom, and even share the same bed. There's only 2 baths, so they had to take baths in shifts. Ginger herself once said that something as mundane as brushing her teeth was an adventure. All this is cast as the Duggars' slow walking of reporting Josh's molestation in a new light. This wasn't just a catastrophic failure, lapse of judgment. This was willful, wanton, to reckless disregard for the well-being of their children. And let me ask you this, Lori. Do you seriously think that is worthy of honor? Do you seriously think that people think that these are a shining example of what Christian parents ought to be? If that's the case, I don't want to see unfit parents. Because from where I'm sitting, Jim Bob and Michelle aren't just America's most famous baby makers. They are among America's most infamous unfit parents, and they are well deserving of opprobrium. I take it very personally when Alexander says we shouldn't speak out against them. We should honor our parents no matter what. Because as many of my longtime friends know, I'm still coming to grips with the realization that my own father, and I put father in quotes here, essentially abdicated his duties as a husband and a father when he just willfully stayed on third shift in order to facilitate his cheating. I'd wondered how in the world that he could have done so, knowing that my mom, being a teacher, they only saw each other a few hours out of the week, especially when my brother and I were in the picture. I didn't want to believe it, but a few years ago I found out what I'd long suspected. He'd done so because he put satisfying his honeys above his own family, and the fact that he went to first shift, a shift that he complained wouldn't work out, at the behest of his girlfriend, only compounded it. It's why the whole Duggar saga hit me on a personal level, because it's just like my dad, my Jim Bob. My dad abdicated his most basic duties as a husband and a father. Even though my dad's actions were crimes of omission as opposed to Jim Bob's acts of commission, it was still no less hurtful. Yes, my dad didn't veer to criminal conduct, unlike Jim Bob, but still, the effect is the same. He was an unfit father. And if Alexander thinks that doesn't deserve to be condemned, something is wrong. Bad wrong. I noticed that Alexander harped on how so-called Christians were joining in on the attacks on Jim Bob and Michelle when they deserve to be pariahs. Well, here's a news flash, Lori. Quite a few of those so-called Christians are among my friends, and some of them are pretty conservative. In fact, I found out about Ginger's interview from one of my more conservative friends. And quite a few of them have had no illusion about who the Duggars really are for some time. You say that Ginger is putting a blot on Christ's name by speaking out? Well, Lori, if you took off your blinders long enough, you'd see that Jim Bob and Michelle are the ones putting a blot on Christ's name for what they're doing. And do you want to live with the fact that because of builds like what you're putting out, Jim Bob and Michelle may never face earthly justice? If you think that's acceptable, I feel really sorry for you. That's all.